Hi, this is Anita with 5 Minutes with Art. Art throughout the centuries was very much a male-dominated type of profession. But yet there are some women artists who really help change the world. And today I want to talk about some of those women artists who many of them are sort of unsung heroes or heroines because they help change the world. One is Lavina Fontana. She lived from 1552 to 1614. She was one of the first women in Western Europe to manage her workshop and support a family through commissions. This would have been huge during this time. Remember, she lived in the 1500s and the 1600s, so she was able to actually support a family. It was an era when women weren't allowed to be professional painters. She carved out a career for herself in Italy. She broke the professional boundaries that had not been broken before. So she's really somebody that we need to talk about and recognize as a great woman artist. Another woman that should be mentioned is Judith Leistier. She was the star of the Dutch Golden Age. Leistier ran her own studio and was one of the first women admitted to the Haarlem Painters Guild. For centuries, her work was misattributed to male artists. She actually lived from 1609 to 1660. So this is a woman that, again, who also fought against the male domination during her time. And even for centuries, her work was thought to be the work of a male artist when it was really her work. She mastered painting and she fought for creative ownership in this very patriarchal system that she was in. Another woman was Josefa de Obidos. She lived from 1630 to 1684. She was a Portuguese Baroque painter known for still lifes and religious imagery. She was one of the few women recognized in her time as a professional artist in Catholic Europe. One reason why she matters is she had great success in the conservative religious Portugal. It was groundbreaking during that time. And also her use of light and realism rivals her male contemporaries. So she was not only, breaking through the patriarchal system that was going on there, but she also was someone who had a huge amount of talent. Another woman who's on my list that most people don't know about is a woman named Pan Yu Liang. She lived from 1895 to 1977. She was a former sex worker turned modernist painter. She fused, Western techniques with Chinese subjects, changing the aesthetics of the 20th century Chinese art. She fought stigma and exile to become one of the modern China's most important artists. And that's why I kind of, put her into this list. I love her for the type of work that she did and how she really fought against stereotypes during her time. Another one of my favorite artists is Hilma af Klint, which is a Swedish artist, which isn't really well known, but she really is a very important artist. She was long before Kandinsky, and Hilma af Klint was painting abstract works of art inspired by spirituality, mysticism. Her paintings of swirling canvases. And she is really an interesting character because when she died, she lived from 1862 to 1944. She'd written in her will that for like 20 years her paintings needed to be kept secret, and they were, until one of her relatives, discovered them, and in the 60s or so, and then they discovered these massive, beautiful works of modern art that nobody even knew existed. She matters because she's literally changed the timeline of modern art, where her recognition now forces a rewrite of art history, and she has some beautiful, massive works. What's also interesting about her, she painted traditional things to earn a living, but she kept these type of works of art sort of more hidden because she felt like people didn't understand them. So she really is a woman artist who changed the time. Another artist is Amrita Sher Gill. She lived from 1913 to 1941. She's sometimes called India's, Frida Kahlo. And she blended European techniques with Indian themes, creating a unique visual language. And, she really has some wonderful works of art of Indian women and, other subjects. She gave voice to Indian modernism and bridged the East-West divide in the colonized world. I have several more other women that are on here, maybe some of them that you do not know. that you can go on and we'll put a link in the description to our blog post on 10 women artists who changed art history, but you've never heard of, and that you can discover some of these great women who really were trailblazers, who changed art and art history in many profound ways. So these are women that most people don't know about, or maybe you've heard about them, but maybe you don't really know that much about them. But these are some fabulous women artists who changed art or changed art in their communities in very important ways. This is Anita from 5 Minutes with Art. Thank you so much for listening, for joining us for just a few minutes each week to be able to learn more about art, because art is such an important part of our life. We hope that you'll press the subscribe button, subscribe to us. We'd love to have you join with us and be part of our community. Thank you.